The art direction of the Nostromo and the Earth world would be, I decided, separate from the art director, who would be the art director for the alien side of things, because they should look different. I didn't want to saddle two production designers with such a problem. All these things are all a delicate balance, but one way or another, yeah, I think it turned out pretty well, even now.
Filmmakers have been captivating audiences for decades thanks to clever camera work, invisible editing, and sentimental stories. When all of these elements work together, they create amazing synergy that no other medium has come close to replicating. This almost perfect and effortless balance between methods and techniques is called the mise-en-scene, which states that every element in the frame has its own meaning and purpose within the film's narrative. While plot, acting, and editing are key in telling the film's story, set designers have the liberty in creating the interesting and fascinating worlds where movies take place, hiding subtext and emotional motifs in the architecture of buildings, props, and backdrops with the simple use of colors. So why do most modern directors undervalue good set design, barely trying to tell a unique story in the film's background? Especially in the horror genre, where emotional beats are the driving force in the viewing experience.
But the process of conversation and the process of design is the same process. It's what's the physical space of the story, and how can the physical space help inform, help support, and help tell that story.
Production designers work closely with the director and cinematographer to guide the film's art departments in creating the costumes, makeup, setting, and colors. Both set and production teams work closely together in creating the themes and tones of the project. Think of a scene in a movie. Take out the actors and just focus on the props, furniture, and decor, and placement of those items. The set designer was responsible of setting up all those elements. Set design let us know the time and place the film takes place, a locational function. Its many props and minute details decorate the scene, giving us insight about the film's world. The most drawing function is symbolic, when the image has more meaning and subtext. Here, the director communicates certain feelings to the audience, showing a character's inner struggles or evoking emotions of euphoria and peace. Any object that an actor holds, using it during a scene, is considered a prop. Coming in all shapes and sizes, they're more than just objects that performers use. They can move the story forward, create tension, show a character's status quo, or be a symbol.
Now, I want you to go in that bag and find my wallet.
Which one is it?
It's the one that says bad motherfucker.
Props can have their own stories and hidden meanings. Like mise-en-scene mentions, everything in the frame has a purpose, and props are the ideal contender for it. Somewhat of a forgotten practice, backdrops were prominent in Hollywood's golden age of filmmaking. Artists would hand paint these scenic murals with great effect. With the manipulation of lighting, shades, and texture, these talented individuals would create beautiful and detailed scenarios. While nowadays we opt to make everything digital, backdrops still have an important role in building the world's atmosphere. If there's one visual aspect the set designers need to emphasize, it's color. Every shade expresses different meaning. Psychologist Robert Plutchke at the University of South Florida researched emotional reactions, proposing that we're evolutionarily hardwired to react in certain ways because of environmental challenges we faced in the past, classifying 8 basic emotions in colors and their respective shades. Plutchke understood that emotions exist in varying degrees of intensity. Since the birth of color onto film, directors have inadvertently used the wheel of emotions to drive their stories forward in new and imaginative ways. Linking all these elements of set design with a cohesive and thrilling narrative is key in creating an immersive experience. One of the most atmospheric films is 1979's Alien by visionary director Ridley Scott, where the crew of a ship is stuck in the middle of empty space with a vicious, terrifying creature. Ridley Scott worked with Swiss painter Hans Rudi Giger, who's known for his airbrush images of human-machine hybrids, to create the design of the iconic alien in its many forms. Even Souch magazine mentions in their article, Giger studied architecture and industrial design, and his work has a strong architectural quality. It features a shallow 3-dimensional space with architectural structure made up of biological and mechanical elements. Giger also worked closely with set designer Eden Whittaker and Rob Cobb in the making of the spaceship's Gothic architecture. With its gloomy, labyrinth-like corridors, industrial props, and dark colors, the Nostromo environment feels pressurized and secluded. Not just a stylistic choice, the set design works in favor of the film's subtext about the fears of human biology, birth, and reproduction, having the characters struggle between two different worlds of organics and mechanics, creating its unique biomechanical aesthetic. All these production design and narrative details come together in creating a believable and terrifying environment, especially when you also have a rogue android on board wanting to bring the alien back to Earth. It isn't revealed until the final moments of the film that Ash compromises the crew's safety. They feel discomfort and fear him. They're technophobic. Popularized in 1927's Metropolis, it's the irrational fear of advancing technology. How it could possibly betray us or surpass us. It has no emotions nor subjectivity. It follows direct orders at the expense of others' lives. Similarly, technology can harm us at an emotional level. Because of our consumer society, we look for instant gratifying experience, choosing to ignore our issues and indulge on simpler solutions. 2013's Her follows an upset writer who develops a kindly relationship with an artificial intelligence. The film is a character study, focusing on protagonist Theodore and his isolated lifestyle after a breakup. He goes through emotions of sympathy, love, and melancholiness. Fast Company mentions in their article designing a future of comfort, color, and gorgeous gadgets in Her. To create this smartphone-like device that Theodore carries everywhere, production designer Barrett drew inspiration from 1940s era accessories. He says, Theo's clothes were referenced from the 20s and 40s, and we have furniture from the 50s, 60s, and 80s. The film aesthetic combines retro wear and old-timey decor with its not-so-far futuristic setting to incorporate a believable and lived-in world where new meaning of technophobia emerges, a level of dependence and influence. Theodore becomes so accustomed to Samantha that he almost forgets she's a product, tailored for her buyer's needs, only to find true purpose and happiness at the end, represented by the bright overtones. I enjoy how Alien and Her's production design manages the subtext of the film, giving atmospheric weight to every prop, color, and backdrop on the frame. Both films contain many deep topics, technophobia being one of them. From two completely different genres, using contrasting color palettes and set design, we find similar techniques of architecture and art production, all culminating in creating a fictional time and place where our characters aren't just the individuals we see, but also the space they inhabit and live in.